Hello, Jay Lane here, and in this video I am going to try something new. I am going to sign up for website hosting with SiteGround for my WordPress website, and this is the very first time I've ever shot a live video of myself. So hopefully this works out. We're going to get into it and see what happens. So the main thing I want to do is I'm going to do shared hosting, and you'll see here on the site they have WordPress hosting and web hosting and shared hosting. It's the exact same thing. They just call out WordPress because WordPress powers like 25% of the web. And so they're just kind of calling that out as a service. Another thing that I like about SiteGround so far is that their live chat has been great. It's very responsive, and that's something that you want to look for in a hosting provider. Someone that is responsive and quick, and that can roll back your site if something bad happens. And I've had that happen to me a few times before. So anyway, so we're going to go in and we're going to look at the shared hosting plans. And if you were signing up just for one website for your business or a blog or whatever, the startup plan would be perfect. I am going to go with the Grow Big account because I have multiple websites, and they're not big traffic. There's not a lot of traffic coming to them. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click this Get Started. And here, if you wanted to register a domain name with them, you could. In a previous video, I showed you how to register a domain name with GoDaddy, and so I would recommend that. I wouldn't do it through SiteGround. And so I already have websites, I already have domains, and so I'm going to choose that option. And I'm going to put in my jlane.com, which is my main website, and because I'm going to transfer that site over to the service eventually. So I'm going to go ahead and click Proceed. And this is the screen where they show you, or basically you give them all of your information. And so I'm going to turn the screen dark for just a second so that I can plug in all of my information and sign up. Okay, so I have successfully created an account. I put in my credit card information. I also, just for note, I went ahead and paid for 2 years because at $5.95 you could get that at monthly rate for up to 3 years, and then they give you like a percentage off to renew later on down the road. But I went ahead and just paid for 2 years, and honestly, paying for 2 years is cheaper than what I was going to pay for a full year with the hosting company I'm with. So I'm going to save a decent amount of money over the next couple of years. So anyway, you can see here on my screen that it says my account was successfully created. And this took a couple of minutes to come up, and then it says proceed to customer area. Okay, so now what we're going to see is a wizard that's going to walk us through actually setting up our hosting account. And you could have stopped here. You'll see that there's an option, a little link there that says I do not want to set up now. Remind me next time I log in. Also, you'll get an email with a link to bring you back to the same place. So if you're at a point where you can't keep going forward, don't worry, you can come back to here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to say that we want to start a new website. And because in this case, in this example, we're setting up jayswidgets.com, which is not a real website. And so we're going to choose start a new website. And then we're also going to choose WordPress because that's what we're setting up. You could do a Joomla or Drupal site or whatever. So we're going to say start a new website. We're going to say WordPress. Now, here's something that it's going to ask you for. It's going to ask you for your WordPress login details. And there's an admin email, a username, and a password. Go ahead and write this down. Whatever you put in is what you're going to use to log into your WordPress site later. This is separate from your SiteGround information, okay? It could be the same username and password if you want to, but you are going to log in a completely separate place. And so it's important to remember that. So write that down. Write down your admin email, your username, and then know what your password is. And in a second, I'm going to show you how to log into your WordPress site. So you want to do that. And then when you're done, you're going to click the confirm button. So now I'm good to go. I'll hit the confirm button. And then it says that we have requested WordPress. We're good to go. We're going to complete setup. Okay, so you have gone through, you've set up your hosting account, you have installed WordPress, and in theory, you're ready to move forward and to set up your website and do all of that. But there's one step that you have to do first, and it's setting up your domain name servers. And basically what that does is that points the domain name acmecompany.com from your domain registrar, whether it's GoDaddy or Namecheap or whatever, to SiteGround. And you will actually get an email that looks like this from SiteGround, where they tell you, your username and how to log in. You click this go to user area, which we're already there. And then they have a wizard to go ahead and set up your website. And if you remember on the previous step, that's what we did. We said we're going to create a new website, and we move forward with that. And so you're good there. But then down here it says don't forget to update your DNS settings. And this is probably going to be this will potentially be a little bit confusing, and I don't think they do a really good job of explaining this. They do have a tutorial, it appears like, but what you basically need to do is you need to take this information to your domain registrar, and you need to log into that account and then change these settings, and then after that, about 24 hours later, when you go to your domain name, it will point to SiteGround, because right now it's going to be pointing to a parked page where it just says website coming soon or something like that. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go to my GoDaddy account, and I am going to add these two name servers. So I'm going to go over here, and I have GoDaddy pulled up. I'm going to log in, and then I'm going to go to my managed domains. And again, whatever domain registrar you're using, it's going to have the same thing. Basically, you want to manage that particular domain. And so you'll see here Jay's Widgets, which is the website I'm setting up. And when it loads, you're just, like I said, you're going to look for DNS. And you'll see here there's a link that says Manage DNS. We're going to click that. And then down at the down here on the page, there's a name server section, and right now these are just the default name servers that GoDaddy uses, but I'm going to change those, and I'm going to say that I want custom, and you're going to see that I have 2 blank fields. So I'm going to go back to the email. I'm going to copy that link address. I'm going to come back. I'm going to paste it in here, and actually you don't want all this other stuff. And then once I have these in, all I'm going to do is hit the save button. And so now I have to wait for these changes to propagate, and it can take up to 24 hours. So the easiest way to do that is just to, and again, you can follow some instructions here. Well, actually, if I go back here to the user area and I go to my accounts, you're going to see, and you're seeing 2 on my screen right now, and that's just because I added an additional one. But let's pretend that Jay's Widgets is the only one that's here, and so it would be the same thing for you, whatever you set up. And then you see there's a green button, go to admin panel. You're going to click that, and then you're going to put in the the WordPress username and password that you used on the previous step, and that's how you're going to log in. Okay, so I'm back. The changes I made with my name servers have propagated, and everything's gone through. It's taken about 3 hours, and it may be more or less than that for you. The only way that you can really know is to just test it, and the easiest way to do that is in the control panel. You can just click on My Accounts, and you should see your website there. In this case, it's Jay's Widgets, and when I click this green button, it'll take me to the admin panel. I can also click this, and you'll see that it opens. You can see it in the address bar, and then this is just the default WordPress installation. So we'll talk about fixing all of that stuff later. But if I go back to the SiteGround dashboard and I click this Go to Admin panel, it takes me to the WordPress login screen. And then here is the place where I would put in my username and password and then hit login. And remember, this is what you wrote down earlier. I'm going to hit login, and then it's going to take me into into WordPress. So in the future videos, we will talk about how to customize WordPress and all of those other steps. But for now, you're set up and you have a website, and you're good to go. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, email me at jay@jaylane.com, and I look forward to having videos for you in the future. Thanks a lot.